Huntress Wizard is gonna be one of the main characters of Season 2. I am so happy right now. Fionna and Cake was a transformative experience. It proved how Adventure Time is one of the few shows that has only gotten better with age, giving us some of the best storytelling we've seen from Adventure Time, and thanks to a leak and then what feels like a begrudging confirmation, we now know that Season 2 is coming out this month. I thought this show was gonna come out like a year, so getting it now, that is music to my ears. So I figured I'd do a breakdown of everything we know so far, but then my mind started to turn about what the potential arc for Huntress Wizard would be, and there are some juicy possibilities just waiting to be uncovered. As if she really is the Simon of this season, the character we're gonna dive into and explore all their tendencies, where they're at with the world, then we are in for a treat. As yeah, she has made some questionable life choices.
I worry that hard meat don't get eat.
So a quick reminder for everyone who doesn't remember how Fionna and Cake ended. Having been dragged out of her dimension, Fionna discovered that her plain, boring city was actually a pocket dimension in a sad old man's head. Naturally it was Simon, and it was put there by Prismo as a fanfic he was hiding from the narc that has now become his gay roommate. Where, after journeying through the multiverse, Fionna was able to save her world, bring back a certain level of magic, all while finding the beauty in a normal life that she had been taking for granted. It was beautiful. Some of her friends from the other dimension joined her. Her and Simon still kept in touch as he finally let go of Betty, embracing his current world over mourning his old one. If they had ended the story here, you would have had next to no complaints from me. It's next to no, as we still have the implication that the Far World's Finn's son Jay may have left his younger siblings in the post-apocalypse after his dad got impaled, which is a wild cliffhanger for these two. Like, oh, it's sweet star-crust lovers, they're finally together, and it's like, wait, is Finn actually alive? As if he's not. This is actually super fucked. We have no idea if we're gonna get clarification on this, as that doesn't seem to be the Finn that this season's concerned with saving. It's the original. Fionna Campbell and her trusty sidekick slash BFF Cake the Cat settle into their new life in their world, while keeping in touch with Simon Petrikov. But as new challenges arise, Fionna and Cake must team up with Huntress Wizard for a quest to save Oo's favorite hero. Fucking hate that voice. Now to clear this up, one would naturally assume that they're trying to save Finn. The fact that Huntress Wizard is here basically all but confirms that. However, they phrase it as Oo's favorite hero, and that leaves a possibility open that we're being set up for a bait and switch. Like, imagine it. LSP has taken up the hero mantle, and you know she would immediately start calling herself Oo's favorite hero. It's frightening to imagine. That kind of misdirect is right up Adventure Time's alley. It's probably definitely Finn, but there is a chance it could be literally anyone else. But they probably won't do that, as yeah, that would be Bloodstone levels of annoying. But personally, I'm inclined to think that it will be Finn who needs saving, as Huntress Wizard would not give a fuck if it was anyone else. I do not see her being the type to go that far out of the way, like dimension hopping, unless it was for her situationship. If that was at risk, yeah, she'd do it. Anyone else? A little bit more dicey. The other thing that has me intrigued about the synopsis is that we ostensibly will be spending a lot more time in Fiona's world. Promo images hint that we will be doing some dimension hopping, but exploring Fiona's world does seem to be a priority. And given how little we actually have seen it, that does make sense. But the thing that makes me curious here, and how it pertains to Huntress Wizard specifically, is that Fiona's world is boring. It's special, we love it, it's amazing for all like the small comforts they bring, but it's just really a town. We have no hints that like there's anything else besides this, and that makes me curious about how Huntress Wizard will feel being here, as it and Fionna are the antithesis of Huntress Wizard's entire ethos.
That is to say, if I ever find what I'm looking for, I'll become soft and I'll cease to matter in this world.
HW in Adventure Time is a quasi-survivalist nut. She thrives in the wild and fears growing soft. She abandoned her mentor to pursue the mad and sad world of magic. For those who forgot, you can't use magic and not be a little bit crazy. Huntress Wizard has slightly less impressive power, so maybe that means she's a little bit less crazy than some, but that psychosis is hiding beneath the surface, and it might be manifesting in her just refusal to settle down. That she abandoned her mentor to see the thrills of Wizard City and then the thrills of living in the wild. She prefers freedom and being an exceptional beast to dating Finn, that to her, being content and finding happiness is a luxury of normal people, which as Jake puts it,
that's real dumb.
Huntress Wizard feared that love would weaken her, that her hunter mentality of having only one goal, her eye on the prize, and to lose that by having someone else to care about would erode her status as a badass, as it would mean losing focus, hinting at a fear of vulnerability after dedicating her life to being the best. Hence why she rejected Finn, but only at first. Later, things did work out for them, but she didn't actually have to change all that much, which was the real magic of their relationship, but that might be where the introspection really comes in. That these two could both be hyper-independent adventuring badasses who occasionally smooched. With us seeing how, despite this initial rejection, they still held a candle for one another, HW risking her life to shake Finn out of his funk, then teasing him for how he's still in love with her, only to start sucking his face. Showing the feeling was mutual. Despite this, despite the implication that they're together, we never actually see them settle down. Instead, they become this casual, no-labels situationship, for a lack of a better word. Showing up to his birthday, she brought him an elk heart, and the symbolic meaning of it.
Wonder what it is.
It's an elk's heart.
Oh, cool. I don't have one of those.
Which, given how she has elk horns, yeah, not hard to guess that one, that she's giving him her heart and trying to put it inside him. But Finn, now grown, still heads over to see her after he's done questing with Simon, which, yeah, they're probably fucking.
I'm gonna stop off at the Huntress Wizard.
Now, I have no hard evidence for this, despite the fact that it's definitely happening in the other worlds, as Farm World, as we see, has a kid with just dead ringer for Hunter. Red hair, green eyes, looks a lot like the human version we saw in the vampire world. So, easy guess, that is currently their deal. They're seeing each other, but they might not be together, but it seems to be working for them. It's weird, but they're cool with it, and we don't know how much they've actually progressed over time. But HW's fear of growing soft led them to have a fear of commitment. With season 1 taking a deep look into Simon's frayed psyche and the actual mental toll his life has taken on him, being a normal dude coming out of 1,000 years of insanity only to find a world completely alien to what he remembers, Fionna and Cake has shown a willingness to take these characters and dive deeper into their issues and insecurities than I ever thought they could. As yeah, this show, it could be deep, but for them to be like, okay, 10 episodes, 1 character, this blew the introspection we saw from Marceline and Stakes out of the water for me. So if Huntress Wizard is then the new Simon of this season, then I think her quasi fear of commitment and wanting to avoid settling down might be the thing that we're going to dive deeper into. Finn and Huntress Wizard don't have to be getting married or preggers, but the story simply needs to present the idea that something in their relationship is changing. HW is uncomfortable with that, forcing self-reflection on what she actually wants and who she wants to be. Just like Simon, Finn gets out of the picture, so Huntress Wizard now has to try and save him. With this bringing her to Fionna and her worlds, with there being plenty of great potential for how these two women would interact. Fionna can be the opposite of HW, the girl who settled down and went soft. Or Fionna can see in HW who she wants to be. Fionna just had this massive life-changing adventure, seeing worlds filled as many wonders as there were horrors, so if she starts out this season a few months out from the epilogue, then we can see Fionna start to get a bit of wanderlust, wanting to go explore again, but now feels torn as she just created this whole new life for herself. She embraced the magic and the normal and is probably dating Hunter, making Finn a convenient excuse to leave and Huntress Wizard a weird mentor figure who understands her desire to not get tied down, creating an internal conflict for the both of them on who they want to be, mimicking the real late 20s experience of freaking out if you've made the right choices with your life. Last season hit us with big adulting sucks energy, but that was the malaise and frustration of feeling trapped. Season 2 can tap into the anxiety of making a major life choice and fearing that you've now locked yourself into it, which is why I think this will be the direction for Huntress Wizard's character. It all lines up in a juicy way that I think will be super interesting to explore. It would be nice to have a little bit of final confirmation on the nature of her and Finn's relationship, but if we're looking at Huntress Wizard as a person, her need for distance, denying herself happiness out of fear that would make her soft, that would make for such a great direction to explore for her character. She pushed her mentor away only to go looking for him after feeling like she made a mistake, falling in love with Finn only to say they can't be together, just end up in whatever this is. So exploring this and her relationship with Finn would be the most natural direction for her character to take. For her to be forced at points to take a breather and enjoy the simple magic of being normal, tempting her away from her old lifestyle, all while she tries to ignore it to focus on, well, saving her maybe baby daddy, who would be in the mental state to accidentally push their relationship to the next level, as Jake is dead.
Deep down, I just kept waiting for the day I'd finally see you again.
We heard it from the dead man's mouth and Together Again that Finn spent the rest of his life mourning Jake. He passed away some point before Obsidian. Dog years really caught up to him. With this shattering Finn, he got the tattoo in his honor, with him admitting that even when he felt like things were good, a small part of him always felt like he was just waiting to die to see Jake again. Grown Finn and Fionna Cake showing just, yeah, that was true here, as he's basically returned to burying his feelings, going on adventures to distance himself from his thoughts, attempting to do the same with Simon. Bro was not okay. So it would make sense in the moments of loss he would lean more and more on Huntress Wizard, which could lead to a shift in their dynamic that HW isn't emotionally prepared for, making his disappearance or in need of rescue a sore spot for her as she's processing a lot of things right now. Balancing Fionna, this new world, all while she's on the cusp of changing. Huntress Wizard feared stagnation, feared being content, and being vulnerable. Couple that together with her natural tunnel vision, which makes the more relaxed tone of Fiona's world her worst fucking nightmare, just like Hunter.
These guys are chill and harmonious. My beautiful misfits.
Huntress Wizard's gender swap counterpart is a chill gardener who tends to his own little slice of heaven. And that's interesting because everyone else's counterparts share mostly the same personality and attitude. But while both Hunters have that sexy mystique and down-to-earth wisdom, Hunter is the polar opposite to Huntress when it comes to motivation. She is driven and constantly wants to be moving forward, while he is very down to chill and tend to the things around him. Making me very curious to see how these two would interact, more so than most of the others. As you know, Marshall and Marceline would be like, cool, and move on. So I am just, I cannot wait to see how this will all play out. We have some promo images that hint at what's to come. Fionna potentially might lose an arm or be an alt version of herself. Cake found her anime boy in, well, human Prince Monochrome, who might just be assuming she's a fellow furry. But the shots of Huntress Wizard looking at a similar, if not the same plant that Finn and Simon saw in episode 2, hints that whatever this thing is will play a much bigger role in the story than we might have expected. We know that Huntress Wizard dabbles in ecology, dealing with invasive species when they pop up, so a glowing tree that was defended by a magical green bear with a mask that could grow bigger and gain extra limbs at will? Yeah, that would be something she would take interest in. We also don't know if Finn's wounds on his back were because of the bear or the tree. Either way, he could be poisoned, which could lead to some long-term health effects that we have to deal with. Could be radioactive, could be magical. Either way, Huntress Wizard will be involved, and we do see that we will at least enter her home, where she is rocking the short hair, which, seeing as we got a shot of her with autumn colors, safe bet to say that her hair is going to go through all 4 seasons, with it fading, falling out, then regrowing. Someone else can write the renewal and rebirth theory in the comments, just like Fionna carrying on the tradition of losing a hand. Though I swear that this shot is going to be just the dream sequence that opens up season 2, just like how last time we got magical girl Fionna setting up her wanderlust then. So starting with an action-packed power fantasy could just be the way of setting up her craving for excitement. I'm personally feeling a little too confident in some of these predictions, but I'm always happy to be proven wrong, as those surprises are so fun. But to throw out one other thing that could be a major thing explored in this season, a major thematic haha that came out of season 1's finale for me and a few of my friends, is how there is a massive missed opportunity when it comes to the rest of the denizens of Fiona's world. Cake talks about how this is just who she truly is. She's not just some house cat, but she's a magical being, with that part of her being ripped away on account of them losing the magic, which is a super interesting topic to explore, only for it to never feel like that fully materializes. As Cake does get that choice, she's able to reclaim that part of herself, but the rest of the world and the people in it don't. Everyone here has a more fantastical self that was stripped from them, but the season ends with the magic not fully returning, with only Cake getting back her original self. Fionna chooses the normal, but everyone else doesn't get that same level of self-determination, which could lead to a breach in this world as the denizens choose what kind of life they want to live, to reclaim the fantastical, adding an element of chaos and uncertainty to a world that Fionna fought so hard to save. But that's just something that might happen. We don't know if that's gonna be brought up again, kind of like Fiona's weird normalizing touch. Alright, that's gonna be it for me. Let me know what you guys think is gonna happen in season 2. How excited are you to see Huntress Wizard again, as I am very hyped, with this season easily being the thing that I'm the most excited for in October. I have no idea if I'm gonna talk about Has Been Hotel or not.
Bye, have a beautiful time.